Right, good morning everyone and welcome to TSG's webinar on the future of telephony. My name is Will McLean and shortly you'll be hearing from two of my colleagues who will help demystify this exciting but I suppose often confusing world of telecoms, which is, as no doubt most of you will know, full of acronyms, and if they don't trip you up then loose cables will probably do that. But before we hear from my colleagues, there's just a few small bits on housekeeping for you, for those of you unfamiliar with webinars. The webinar today should take about 40 to 45 minutes with time for Q&A afterwards. Now, you're all on mute so that there's no background noise throughout the webinar. However, if you wish to ask any questions, you can use the question facility, which is in the control panel you'll find in the top right-hand corner of your screen. There's an orange arrow, or white arrow, an orange background there. You can click on that to expand the control panel, and if you have any questions, please type them in there. I'll be managing those and we'll deal with them at the end unless there are any specific questions that are relevant to the part that we're on. And also please use that if you have any issues, you've missed something or there's been a bit of a glitch with the sound and you wish to let us know and we can go back if necessary. Finally, this session is being recorded, so if you do miss anything or know colleagues that could also have benefited from this webinar, you'll be able to view the recording on tsg.com later, of which there will be details circulated. Now, as I said, I'm going to be joined by two colleagues. We have Jason Hope, who is TSG's Senior Telecoms Specialist, and Richard Adams, who is our Technical Product Lead here at TSG. So I shall pass on to Richard now. That's enough from me. Again, any questions, then please use the facility in your control panel, and I shall pass on now to Richard for today's content. Thank you.
Thanks, Will. That's great. Welcome to today's webinar. Shortly, my colleague Jason Hope will talk you through a set of slides that will unravel some of the acronyms and technologies that we use in today's modern world of communication. But before I do that, I'd like to set the scene. In the modern world, we need to adopt new solutions and technologies for our businesses to grow that will allow us to maximize the profit that can be gained through ICT investments. But as a business, we need to be mindful to what else it will affect in the business. For example, if I purchase a new high-speed business application, can my computers and servers cope with the additional data traffic from the application? If the answer is actually I don't know, then I most probably look at one area in isolation. To this end, TSG offers true end-to-end solutions. On the slide, you'll see three pillars. The first pillar looks at applications that currently run on my network. The size of the data packets that needs to move around the network, or whether the data needs to be on a private part of the network or can coexist in all of the data areas. This pillar is called information. The second pillar looks at connectivity between sites. Do we need links between the sites to go over the public internet, or do we need them to go over private circuits? Then we need to decide what traffic goes between site A and site B, possibly email or maybe voice. This pillar is called communication. The third pillar looks at infrastructure. Are my servers capable of processing the data quick enough? What type of data storage do we need and how much? And how secure does the data need to be on our network? This pillar is called technology. We then bring them all together to create a joined-up approach where no one pillar is isolated from the other. If we review any one area to discuss the other two and make sure they will not be affected by the change we made to one of the other pillars. In the old days, we talk about this as IT or information technology, but nowadays we call it ICT or information, communication and technology. TSG bring all these together to monitor and support your customers. Use our branded products, TSG System Care. It monitors the heartbeat of the applications and whether they are working or not. It monitors the links we have to the outside world or between sites. And we monitor the infrastructure, down to the level where we can tell when you're going to run out of disk space on your servers. System Care now includes MyWatch, a new addition to the family that proactively monitors phone systems and voice lines. So the following presentation will look closely at the communication pillar, where we deliver best of breed from some of the vendors listed on screen. Mytel Phone Systems were a silver partner. Gamma, the market leader in SIP. Zen, who provision most of our business-grade connectivity. BT Vodafone, we deal directly with them on your behalf to take away the pain. And finally, Microsoft. We hold 6 gold competencies who are key partners to TSG as they are involved in all 3 pillars. So TSG understand what is possible as we know what can be linked to what to allow your business to take full advantage of the technology that is around you today. And finally, we understand how to make this happen. We have key vendor relationships in place, and more importantly, you understand the technology and how to link them together. So what is Jason going to cover? He'll be looking at SIP and what it means. He'll be explaining the different types of circuits that can be used between sites, and we'll discuss technologies such as unified comms, which opens with great new way of collaboration between colleagues, whether it be audio, video, or web conferencing. At the end of the session, Jason and I will conclude with a summary and then take questions. Please enjoy and over to Jason.
Thank you, Richard, and welcome to everyone to today's webinar. So why SIP and why unified communications, and why now? Fibre-based services, be these the street-level cabinets or your place of work, for which I'll touch on later, have provided the foundation on which to support adoption of cloud-based services, simplifying disaster recovery and mobile working to aid access to key business information, people and resources, both of which are dependent on robust data connections. These new data network services offer a scalable single service provision to support what traditional disparate telecom networks can't, supporting multiple applications, operational flexibility and improved productivity. So what's possible? Many things are. In realizing an all-round better communications experience. Ease of call handling, be this at your desk using a traditional telephone or a soft phone on your PC, tablet or smartphone whilst away from the office. Either way, you remain connected to the office phone system, providing access to key people from any of these devices. Having a broader array of devices and places to accept calls ensures that your customers are more likely to reach the right person the first time. Enable your business to raise the bar of customer service and differentiate against competitors through better interactions and experiences. All of which is supported by intelligent, proactive reporting and alerts, making decision-making easier and faster. So soft phones, not at all soft and squidgy as this picture may suggest, or as one customer replied when asked whether they knew what a soft phone was, is it not a type of stress relief aid? It's simply as the image show, a digital keypad which can be used on many devices, providing a common feel and look irrespective of the device. Extending use of your phone system beyond the office, providing the same feature-rich call handling experience irrespective of your device you're using or your location. Use of a soft phone is useful where you have access to a dependable data connection, be this 4G or Wi-Fi, in order to avoid expensive mobile roaming charges.
Okay, thanks for that, Jason. That gives us a good generalization of what we're going to be looking at in today's webinar. What I want to do now is we're just going to ask a quick poll of everybody about your understanding of unified comms. So you should see any minute now on your screen those questions. Just three very simple questions for you, whether yes, you understand what unified comms are and you use them in the business today. Yes, you do understand them, but you don't use unified comms. Or no, you have no understanding of unified comms whatsoever. So we'll just give you a few seconds to answer that. I see that most of you have already done that, and this will just help us tailor what we discuss in the next section, which Jason will look into unified comms in a bit more detail. That's just about everybody answered now. Thank you very much. So probably about 60% of you either don't know what unified comms are, or yes, you do know it, but you don't actually use it in the business. So probably, as we expected, vast majority of people little unclear on what unified comms are. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. We'll have another poll later on in this webinar, but thank you for that. And Jason, if you just like to tell us a bit more about unified comms, that'd be great.
Sure, thank you. Unified communications can be any one of these capabilities used either in isolation or together to provide a richer communications experience. So taking just a few of these presents, it's the ability to see if someone is available to communicate with you. Whereas IM or instant messaging is the ability to send an instant message yet secure and supported by an audit trail. Video enables you to bring a personal feel to communications through face-to-face video calling, be that one-to-one or one-to-many. And whiteboard sessions allow you to invite multiple people into a web session to contribute ideas and annotations to shared content over the web in order to speed progressive work and decision making. And then finally we have the ability to integrate your phone system with key applications, enabling you to make calls from within the application by clicking to dial, or for an inbound call, automating a screen pop with the relevant data to handle the call. All of which can be done on any device supporting smarter working. So let's see how seamless this can be brought together. You're on a call and you need a colleague's advice on a matter. You start by checking Paul's availability through presence. Unfortunately, showing up as red in a meeting. In just a click, you are presented with a menu of options to reach him. Instant message, email, or maybe schedule a meeting for later. On this occasion, we decided instant message is best to quickly and discreetly clarify what you need to know. Paul, what is our sales forecast for SIP? Which leads us to an online whiteboard session allowing both of you to annotate on a document to identify the data needed to answer your caller's query. This is something that I use with our system engineers when we need to review license options and designs for new phone systems for customers, really aiding me to communicate with my engineers in a timely manner. So here we have a number of unified communication clients. The clients are native to the device you're using, ensuring you support across desktop, be that PC or Mac, smartphone, desk phone, and should none of these be accessible, simply via a web browser on any computer or any web-connected device. Providing each interface the same look and feel irrespective of the device you wish to use, and supporting the same communications experience whilst in or out of the office. So from a single window you can seamlessly progress from an instant message to a voice call to a whiteboard collaboration session and then onto a multi-party video call. So never again do you need to call reception to check if someone is in the office or leave a voicemail not knowing when they may listen to your message and get back to you. Unified Communications has the ability to speed communication, save on travel costs and bring people together for a richer, more personal experience. So there are two clear market leaders in the provision of unified communications. We have Mitel's MyCollab suite and Microsoft with their Link offering. Both are available as either on-premise or through software as a service on a recurring rental model. Seamless integration with calendar entries show people looking to communicate with you when you will be available. For those businesses who have a heavy footprint of Microsoft applications, such as Office, SharePoint, and CRM, may find that they better benefit from the tight integration with Link. Each has a very different licensing model, so careful consideration is needed when looking at overall scale of your deployment. Now, Microsoft could be considered founders of unified communications from their early platforms that provided nothing more than instant messaging. Whilst their focus has traditionally been on larger business, following the success of their cost per user model, the Office 365, Link is now included in this service, enabling the smallest of businesses to fairly compete with their larger competitors. Additionally, following Microsoft's acquisition of Skype, we expect them to develop a new voice breakout service for business users, potentially displacing need for basic call control telephone systems. Mitel, on the other hand, and their MyCollab offering has been designed from the ground up to work with their family of telephone systems, ensuring a complete turnkey unified communication solution, negating the need for costly professional services, aiding fast deployment cycles and ease of introducing additional features as MyCollab operates as a single software stream. Either way, we can provide a seamless and robust capability to dial users outside of Link, leveraging Mitel's 40-year-long history for complex call controls such as call groups and contact centers. So, in considering disaster recovery, let us consider what are the common causes of service-affecting issues. Hardware failure, be it a hard disk or a power supply, network connectivity downtime, so an exchange line fault, or a major site incident, a fire or a flood. Now, how do these affect businesses? Well, we have loss of revenue, damage to brand reputation, risk of job losses. As an example, in today's application-dependent world, you wouldn't necessarily buy a server without dual hard drives and power supply. Therefore, service-disrupting incidents related to either a telephone system or a place of business can now easily be avoided and overcome, enabling you to seamlessly continue business as usual. Each person in your business can have the control to change location or device for presentation of their calls. So no more snow days causing loss of work or revenue. Simply keep on working whilst you're building your snowman. So in considering call management, it is possible for anyone to self-serve to make changes to their own personal profile and preferences without intervention by a system administrator, providing instant flexibility to set up and change at will personal ring groups of destinations and devices to suit any working style. Therefore, anyone can stand in on reception or temporarily become part of a call group to alleviate absence or during busy periods. So work from the place that makes you the most productive and achieves the best work-life balance. Telephone numbers therefore no longer have to be linked to the local telephone exchange. Maintain your investment in stationary and vehicle livery. Move and maintain the same number no matter where your business needs to be. No longer is it necessary to pay for costly call diverts for old premises. Earlier we highlighted the value of monitoring and reporting. In Marwich we have a highly proactive fault and performance management capability that monitors and manages Mitel telephone systems, providing proactive health monitoring and alerts with the added ability to maintain off-site system backups, aiding resolution time. Real-time intelligence of your telephone system ensures you know about potential service-affecting issues before they cause loss of productivity. Additionally, Marwich reports on your telephone system's line utilization, enabling you to retire lines not being used efficiently. So now let's demystify some of the black art of communications. So, telecoms are renowned for their use of acronyms, of which some are displayed here on the slide. All you need to remember is that they are necessary pieces of the jigsaw to enable a voice call to be made over a data connection. There are so many different technologies with varying service levels, so today I wish to provide a broader understanding of these and their suitability to support deployment of SIP and unified communications. In essence, there are two ways to deliver data network services, over multiple copper telephone lines or a single fibre link.
Lovely, thanks for that, Jason. We're just going to have our second poll here. We've talked about unified comms, and hopefully you've got a better idea of what we're looking at there. And now this part of the webinar, we're going to look at SIP. So in an identical format to the previous poll, we're just going to find out what your understanding of SIP is. So that should now be on your screens. Again, if you are aware of what SIP involves and have it in the business, please mark that answer. If you are aware but don't use it, there's a response for you there. And again, if you have no idea what SIP is, then you have the third option to select. So again, we'll just give you a little bit of time to answer that. And then we will take a deeper look into what the world of SIP can offer you as a business. Actually, interestingly, I think that's just about everybody answered. One or two more, quite even, which is quite surprising. We're probably expecting most of you to have either no idea of what SIP involves or not to use it. Perhaps slightly teetering in that to that balance, Jason, but quite even, I suppose, across the board. So I shall close that poll now. Thank you very much, everyone, for answering that. And Jason, yeah, back over to you, fellow. If you could just let us know about SIP. Thank you.
Yes, that's great. Thank you, Will, and thank you everyone for your involvement in the poll. So before we get into the detail of the access technologies, let's consider how voice works over data networks. Simply, SIP is the language that data networks understand, so telephone calls can be made over a data connection. So in our diagram here, we have your office, which is served by a single connection to the carrier network. Traffic is segmented at this point, with web traffic passing directly out to the World Wide Web and voice traffic passing direct onto the SIP carrier for connection onto the wider telephone network. So SIP is the magic which enables you to present any number on any device anywhere. So in considering SIP and ISDN as voice access technologies, we see here the decline of ISDN and the rise of SIP as its replacement. Whilst ISDN has declined by circa 2 million lines in just 5 years through 2007-12, SIP is growing at a compound rate of circa 500,000 lines per year through 2013-16. This can be explained by the explosion of smart connected devices which use SIP to make calls over data networks. So many interdependencies are finally aligning to support SIP as a stable technology. The availability of suitably engineered data network connections, the interoperability and accreditation between the SIP service providers and the telephone system manufacturers, and specific network monitoring software for SIP, such as Marwatch. You can't simply switch over to SIP and deliver it over any network connection. Your migration to SIP needs to be a well-considered transition. So who's using SIP? Well, just about every size of business, really. However, interestingly, it's either small or large businesses that are leading the trend. The benefits are universally the same, so long as the plumbing, your data network connections, have been designed with SIP in mind so that call quality is maintained.
Jason, sorry if I could just interrupt there actually. We've had a couple of questions come in, which is great. Again, please, if you have any questions, use the chat facility you have on your control panel. But just a couple of similar questions here, which I thought at this point is quite relevant and might be good to answer, Jason. So just a couple of people are basically asking about SIP. They've heard the quality of sound can be a bit poor, and if it's really all it's up to be. So perhaps we could just dispel that myth if possible.
Yes, by all means. Thank you, Will. Yes, by all means. Thank you, Will. And certainly, I think anybody who has experienced less than satisfactory call quality when using SIP or IP voice, for that matter, is likely the fact that they've not been trying to actually make that call over a suitable data connection. As we've already stated, it is really about ensuring the voice quality and therefore ensuring that you have sufficient bandwidth and a suitable network connection to uphold that quality. So, whilst there are many valid reasons to adopt SIP, security of service enables greater flexibility in the disaster recovery and planning, which importantly remains within your control and not subject to service level based lead times from a network provider. There are no silver bullets as to why you should use SIP, but looking at a few of these, flexible line capacity and fast service delivery, a little like turning a tap on and off as needed. Seamless business continuity, so any call on any device anywhere at any time. And the ability to rationalize network and telephone system expenses. So it's simply about doing business better and without the technology-imposed constraints. So looking at consolidation, what does that look like? Well, looking at a typical telephony estate, you'll recognize on the left of the slide an all too familiar picture where each of your business locations has its own dedicated phone system and access lines. In this case, ISDN. Whereas on the right you have fewer yet shared resources supporting all sites and users, saving on underutilized lines and duplicate costs for system maintenance. With this approach, the phone system can reside wherever you choose is best and has the best availability of network connections at the best price to the SIP carrier. So just how flexible could it be? Here to visualise the potential is our fictional university that during the all-important clearing period of August-September is able to seamlessly add more lines and extensions quickly for a defined period of time to ensure that they have sufficient resources to handle the spike in call traffic, later returning capacity to business as usual. The same could be appropriate to a whole host of other industries that experience seasonal demand. Travel agents, the all-important summer holiday period, and online retail businesses rushing to fill Christmas stockings with the latest must-have toys. Simply, you can scale resource up and down when you need it, and only then. So, sharing the burden. Here we have two different locations, each with a phone system that have been designed for each to handle any of the company's telephone extensions, ensuring continuity of call answering in the event that one site becomes inaccessible, i.e. a snow day, or lines become congested or fail. Therefore, extensions will seamlessly overflow to the alternative location, maintaining business continuity. And here we have the idea, we continue the idea of business continuity, only here no load sharing has been configured. Instead, each phone system has been designed to support all extensions in the event that either the primary phone system or the network connection fails, in which event all extensions will be delivered to the secondary system and location until resolution of the service interruption. Therefore, automating and ensuring seamless call rerouting to ensure you maintain business as usual without customers being aware. So let us dive into the different access technologies and identify how they differ. Here we have a visual diagram of how FTTC and FTTP is provided, the key difference being that FTTC uses copper telephone lines and FTTP fibre. This is much the same approach to the other technologies which we'll review in a moment. On the left we have your office served by either copper or fibre connections to the street level green cabinet, from which fibre links you back to the telephone exchange where you break out to the internet. And this type of network connection offers more bandwidth than broadband, although it does not improve the service level. As with broadband, this is on a best endeavours basis. Access speeds for services provided over copper telephone lines are distance dependent in the same way as broadband and are offered on a contended asynchronous manner, sacrificing upload speed in favour of greater download speed. Unfortunately, FTTC and FTTP services remain sporadic in their availability, although where available do offer a natural step up from broadband. Moving on to EFM, or Ethernet in the first mile. You'll see that the delivery method appears very similar. However, in this instance, up to 8 copper telephone lines can be used to connect you back to the street level cabinet, from which a fibre link then connects you out to the local exchange for handoff to the internet. Access speeds for services provided over copper telephone lines, as highlighted previously, remain distance dependent, although unlike FTTC, are offered in a synchronous manner. What I mean by this is that the up and download speeds match equally. Now, not all EFM services are equal. There are two flavours: standard, which is contended at 5:1, and premium, which remains uncontended. Some, and not all service providers will guarantee the access speed, so check the small print. We prefer to guarantee our access speed so you know what you're getting and just what you can support over the connection. Again, EFM is not universally available, although where available offers a natural step up from FTTC as it provides a 7-hour SLA for service recovery. So moving on up the value chain. Next we have NGA, or Next Generation Access. Yet again, a common approach to connecting your office via copper or fibre links to the street level cabinet, from which fibre completes the route to the internet. The clear difference with NGA is the end-to-end service wrap and guaranteed bandwidth. NGA access speeds for services provided over copper telephone lines do remain distance dependent in the same way as other services already mentioned, although the use of multiple lines ensure you receive synchronous, two-way, guaranteed 10 meg access. Again, whilst not universally available, where it is, offers a solid middle ground between EFM and fibre lease line costs, which include a robust 4-hour SLA for service recovery. So in summarising the technologies we've looked at, you'll see that to the left of the diagram, the asynchronous access products are well suited for general internet access as they favour download over upload, so offer value for money bandwidth. However, offer no firm access speed or SLA to best support unified communications and SIP. Over on the right, the picture is much rosier, with synchronous two-way guaranteed access speeds ranging from 2 meg to 10 gigabits, with defined SLA ranging from 7 to 4 hours. A much safer bet to support SIP, although still not the complete picture just yet, to ensure voice quality. So MPLS, or Multiprotocol Label Switching. Not so much an access technology, rather a means to combine each of the access technologies that we have looked at so far, providing the ability to form a private data network between all of your sites. So, in reviewing the different sites, we can see that head office is served by a fibre lease line, supporting between, say, a 10 or a 100 meg connection speed, although providing a 4-hour SLA. Site A, a remote worker or a small satellite site, providing up to 50 megabits contended connection over broadband, where the SLA is best endeavours. Site B, on the other hand, is a regional office with no key applications, providing up to 35 megabit connection speed using EFM on a 7-hour SLA. Site C, however, an additional regional site supporting failover of key applications for head office, is provided on a 10 megabit guaranteed access circuit via NGA and with a 4-hour SLA. Site D, the final site, is a 4G user utilizing a secure VPN access to gain access to the private network. So MPLS is a private and secure network with the ability to segment site connections from your office and have the network service provider support end-to-end reservation of bandwidth for different applications on the same line whilst applying a pecking order, a practice that is referred to as QoS, quality of service. Somewhat like having your own personal lane on the M6 toll road whilst everyone else makes do with a congested M6 motorway. In this model, all sites share a resource of a central firewall and a port on the service provider's network to break out to the internet. An efficient way to provide scalable internet bandwidth and support centralization of applications, removing dependency of any one site link. So, referring back to our personal lane on the M6 toll road whilst everyone else makes do with the congested motorway, here we have a visual diagram of how segmentation is possible, ensuring that no application can consume too much space or bandwidth on the line at the detriment of others. Here we have applied our pecking order, ordering voice number 1 priority, remote access number 2, and so on. Something that is critical when you have real-time services like voice and video that need guaranteed access and speed to work properly for quality to be maintained. So in concluding my overview of SIP and the different access technologies, I hand back to Richard to summarise what you need to consider.
Thanks, Jason. I hope that unravels some of the acronyms used and what they mean. So when we look at what is possible, you now need to ask yourselves the following. What does a business want to achieve? Is it collaboration, presence, sharing documents, video conferencing, or voice between calls between sites? If it is, you need to look at the connectivity and start to align it to the technology you want to run over it. Then review vendor compatibility. You've got a joined up end-to-end solutions provider that will work with you to assist. But as we said in the beginning, do not look at any one area in isolation. Look at all 3 pillars and line them together before making a decision on what you want to do. If you do, your business will benefit through consolidation, possibly one communication provider for voice and data, or maybe instead of buying one phone system per site, you'll look at buying one centrally. So what next? TSG are happy to offer a free telecoms or IT audit where we can suggest areas you can look at, possibly consolidating costs, make better use of existing telecoms that might mean a new system or potentially liberating your existing system. Or we can assist and open up your existing system to home workers or roaming staff. If you like the whole unified comms part of the presentation, we have to arrange a free meeting to discuss further and demonstrate how your business can gain through collaboration. And finally, If you're just looking for peace of mind and want to monitor your business assets, i.e. your phone system or IT infrastructure, we're happy to discuss our TSG System Care, which gives you real-time monitoring of your network.
Excellent. Thanks very much for that, Richard and Jason. We've had a couple of questions that we've talked about already, and we've got a couple that have come in now, so do keep them coming in, which you can type on the question facility in your control panel on the top right corner of the screen. Whilst you're typing some questions in there, there's a couple that have come in, and I've sort of pulled them together into one question. Richard, I think this one will be for you, actually. A couple of our attendees on the webinar are just wanting a bit more clarification on the bigger picture, how SIP, unified comms, all works together, and perhaps if we can even give an example of the companies that we've worked with.
Yeah, certainly will. Yeah, recently we had a client who had 10 sites dotted around the UK, all had individual set phone systems, and across all 10 sites they had 40 ISDN lines, which is pretty much typical of most historical phone system deployments. So what we did is we went to the business, we obviously discussed with them, obviously the staff, the locations, the profiles of the staff, and obviously what jobs they did within the businesses. And in reality, they all had different uses of phone systems. So what we did from that is we actually looked at consolidating the networks down to two, which gave them obviously a reduction in support costs. It actually gave them true disaster recovery, just in case, as Jason said, we get one of these snow days when one site's off, and obviously we need to transfer our calls to another site, which is great for the client. What we also were able to do is obviously consolidate down the phone lines. We went down to 10 ISDN channels for incoming calls, but then started to use 30 channels of SIP for obviously outgoing calls, which is a great saving for the client. So finally we obviously looked at what the staff needed themselves. We actually worked out with 120 staff, only 70 actually needed a physical phone. Other 50 workers were literally with the roaming staff, they were home workers, and it allowed them to obviously adopt the soft phone, which gives them more flexibility and collaboration, obviously using Microsoft Link. So a great win for the customer.
Great. Thanks for that, Richard. I should have said also, actually, if you do have any further questions you want to ask that are a bit more technical, you can get hold of Jason and Richard directly by the email addresses, which you'll see on the screen now. There's also our website there for further information on the telephony solutions that we provide, as well as other IT solutions, and phone number there should you want to get in touch. I'll just give that another minute in case there are any more questions coming through, but it doesn't look like there are, which I suppose is good news, lads, as it means we've answered everything that we needed to. Again, this webinar has been recorded, so we will no doubt split it into manageable chunks and put them on the website for you to watch, and you'll all get a notification of that and direct you to where that is. Again, all the important email addresses are there. If you need anything, do get in touch. Otherwise, no more questions have come through, so we'll call it that. Thank you very much for your time this morning, everybody. I hope you found it useful, and I hope it's been enjoyable. Again, questions, please come and find us. Other than that, thanks for joining us, and wish you all a great day. Thank you.